Good morning, sunshines. It is another wonderful day. I actually slept again, and I slept so well that I woke up with ideas on my head. Like what? It was amazing. Anyway, so what I was thinking about this morning was size inclusivity in regards to crochet pattern design. Really, I want to say pattern design overall, but I mean, it's fine. We're just going to roll with crochet because I'm going to stick in my lane and with what I know. Okay, so the reason that this topic is so heavy on my mind is because I'm a big girl. There are a lot of big girls, and every single body is different. I am not built like, Susie down the way. I'm just not. And that doesn't even count the person down the street or around the corner or even next door. Every single body is different. And the thing is, that when you buy a pattern, or even when you go to the store and it says extra large, large, X, 3X, X, are you serious? That doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to fit everybody in that. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Marty. I am the owner of Flawsome Stitches Crochet. I design crochet garments and amigurumi. Size inclusivity is pretty important because designing patterns is how I make a living. That and my wonderful YouTube home. So I'm going to go ahead and tell on myself. I fluctuate, and I'm talking about tops right now. I fluctuate between a 2 and a 3X. But at work, I have to get a 4X because my arms I got big arms, right? It's massive muscle now turned to wings. It's fine. We're fine. Anyway, so having patterns be size inclusive, that really ensures that you make a garment that actually fits the way that it's supposed to, the way that you like it to fit. I don't like my arms being tight. I feel tight in. I wear a lot of tank tops because of that. The problem is I can't wear tank tops everywhere. It's just not appropriate. And sometimes it gets cold and tank tops, well, not good for the cold. Right? So when I design my patterns, I try really hard to have them size inclusive. Now, the Merriam-Webster dictionary does describe or define inclusivity as the quality or state of being inclusive, inclusiveness. For me, what that means is I do not write sizes. I will say what measurements need to be taken, and I'm going to write my pattern based on measurements rather than size. And that's because everybody is different. You can have 5X people, and every one of those 2X people are going to be built differently. It's going to fit differently. And there is something about top or a pair of jeans, and y'all know what I'm saying. I don't care what size you are. When you finally find something that fits really, really well, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel beautiful. And that's what I want. I'm designing patterns so that we can make clothes so that we can feel comfortable, because I promise I'm wearing my own stuff. This isn't my pattern, but I did make it. I love it. Anyway, I digress. More coffee, please. If you're finding value in videos like this, my morning musings where I talk about everything that's in the top of my head, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the little notifications so you don't miss any content. Now, I think that there are a lot of pros and cons with size inclusive patterns. And some of the pros I've already discussed, like you can make the pattern just specifically for you. You can make it fit the way that it's supposed to. That's a big one for me. I'm not going to lie. That's probably the biggest one. But there are also some cons to size inclusive pattern. What if you're making a pattern for somebody else and all you have is what size that they wear? What are you going to do then? If you buy a pattern and there are no sizes written, how do you know what you need to do? Well, I'll tell you. The Craft Yarn Council actually has a list of sizes, and it gives all the measurements, basic measurements for each of those sizes. So if you find a crochet pattern that is size inclusive, meaning it is specifically measurements rather than sizes, and you only know a size, you're making it for somebody else, you can check out that Craft Yarn Council sizing and go from there. Right. It's still possible. It's just an extra step. You know, there's absolutely no way to make everybody happy, to be everything. There's no pattern designer cannot be everything everybody wants. They can't design a pattern for everybody, right? Because everybody's viewpoints, everybody's likes and dislikes are different. When I design my patterns though, and it's something that really came to the forefront of my mind when I was designing the Hope Top 2.0, more specifically, as we are going through the CAL, trying to explain that there's no sizes. And it was kind of I'm trying to think of the word. It's still early, y'all. I'm sorry. Kind of a dissonance thing. People have a really hard time sometimes wrapping their head around the fact that there are no sizes. There is no specific stitch count. I can't give a stitch count because everybody's measurements are different. So I have to be careful in how I word my patterns. And that's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie. And I thought about going the other way and just kind of doing sizes. And I thought, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I know it's uncomfortable and I know it's probably going to cause issues as far as selling my patterns because it's going to be different than the norm, but I can't in all conscience switch just because that's what's always been done. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to break the mold. I'm not trying to change the world. I'm just trying to build a separate track so that we can go parallel. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still in my pajamas, y'all. I'm sorry. You know how the train tracks, they have the one going this way and then they flip a little thing and then it goes off this way, right? Well, I'm not trying to go over yonder with my patterns. I just want to go like this so that the people who feel comfortable with size based crochet patterns can stay on the track that's always been there. But those who want size inclusive patterns that they can make for anybody, literally any body. Anyway, can veer off and they can go horizontal. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to make it a little bit better for my corner of the world. I hope y'all understand. I know I need more coffee. I'm sharing lots of thoughts this morning. It is early. Y'all, oh my goodness. Size inclusivity. Okay, let's talk a little bit about measurement. So in order for a pattern, a size inclusive pattern to work, the maker, the crocheter really does need to understand how to take measurements. I think that's the key thing. It's not just not having the sizes because it's easier and the stitch count is easier, but taking measurements really is kind of important. Next week, we're going to cover how to actually take your own measurements, both having somebody help you, but mostly doing it yourself. If you're anything like me, I honestly don't have anybody to help me take measurements. So I'm going to show you how I take my own measurements so that you can take yours for a size inclusive pattern. We'll see you in the next one. Bye now.